I had an encounter. We ascended. I was in the heavenly realms. I entered into a room called the equipping room. How do you know that, Don? Because Jesus told me. He just said, "You're in the." I knew I was in a room, and I saw all this stuff, and gifts to be given, and mantles, and anointings, and swords, and shields, and scepters. All this stuff in this room. Books. I saw lots of. I didn't say all of this, but I saw all these things. And the Lord said, "It's the equipping room of the saints." I said, "Okay, I can believe that because I'm seeing it." See, in Hebrew, that you believe because they see. See it to believe it. Blessed are you if you believe without seeing. I was in this realm and in this room, and I'm being equipped. God has given me words. There were messages that God, and I believe this is one of them because I've never talked about this stuff. I believe God gave me this message Friday. I didn't even realize it. There was an impartation. He was putting messages and putting words into me, scrolls into me, and things like that. Revelation. There was mysteries being revealed, given to people. All of that stuff. It's just, a lot of it's just symbolic, but it's real. The substance is real, what He puts inside of you. The way you see it, He shows it to you the way so you'll understand it, so you can get it. So you can operate in it. I mean, He gives you a sword, you know what you're supposed to do. Well, the sword cuts the head off, man. Cut the head off the dragon, Sean. Cut the head off the ogre. Cut the head off the enemy, the giants. Cut the snake's head off. All of that. You know what it's for. If I see a scroll, and I know that He's given me a message, I know it's for me to preach. He gives all of us gifts. He gives good gifts unto men. They all come from God, from the Father of lights. Okay, so I'm in this, and then there's angels. I see angels coming in, and somebody on the call says, there's angels here. But I always see this stuff before they say it, which is great. It's confirmations. And so I saw angels coming in and stuff like that. I saw a lot of gold. I saw a lot of golden angels, glory angels coming. I was in this place, the room of equipping. But I had an experience, an encounter with some people that I have never had before in my life. Now, you can stay here in the old, but I stepped through the door into the new. And so I had a new encounter. 4 people approached me in this room. I could see their figure. They were like translucent. I knew they were not angels. I knew they were not the, quote, cloud of witnesses in the heavens. People, saints that had gone on before. They were different. I could just see them like translucent, like the figure. I could see through them, though. They were like beings of light, just like Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration. That's what they look like. Pure light. Translucent light. Okay? Translucent beings. And I'm sitting there thinking, who are these guys? And I kept looking, trying to figure out, okay, are they men or women? And at first when I looked, they looked like 3 men and 1 woman. The second time I looked, they looked like 3 women and 1 man. I'm thinking, God, I'm confused. What's going on here? He said, stop trying to look at them in the natural. Look at them in the spirit. And when I did, they were just translucent beings. Sex, male, female, had nothing to do with it. Oh, that'll preach in the church. Being male and female has nothing to do with it. It's about being one with Him. About being His child. And so, I asked the Lord, who are these? This is what He said. These are the ever-living ones. There were 4 of them. These are the ever-living ones. He said they've learned how to live outside of the law of sin and death. They live in the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus. They learned how to transcend, and they've actually learned how to transfigure their bodies. These are men and women, people that will never die, that have overcome death. They're the ever-living ones. They weren't just spirits. And they gave me the example. They said they're like Enoch. Enoch was like this. He learned how to live and not die. Enoch would have lived forever on the earth if he chose to. But he chose to go to heaven and stay with the Father. Right? These ever-living ones, God said to me, they've chosen to stay here to help the church, to prepare His bride, to equip the sons and daughters. They could go there and just stay there with the Father, but they've learned how to go back and forth. They live in a higher dimension. That's why their frequency is so high. That's why they look so translucent to you. He said, now they have the ability to materialize, bring their frequency. They learn how to change the frequency, see? How to master the frequency. And appear as a man or a woman. But they also know how to go invisible, be translucent. Just like Jesus did. Sorry, he did it. Philip did it. He disappeared. Popped up 30 miles away in less than a second. You know that. Philip. Yeah. He fulfilled his mission. Get the Ethiopian saved, baptized. Poof, he's in another place 30 miles away. Instantly. Traveled in the Spirit. Disappeared. So these guys, they know how to do that. They've overcome death, hell, and the grave. They've overcome sin and death. It has no hold on them. And he said they've chosen to stay here to help you, to help the church. So these 4 were assigned to me. Or it's more like I'm assigned to them, because I'm the guy that needs the help. So they're going to help me. And this is what they said to me. We're going to teach you how to live and not die. That's what they said. That's all they said. In the end of that part of the encounter. They're going to teach me how to live and not die. But 4 is the door, the new door. 4 is an open door in Hebrew. 4 is the Godhead, the fullness. 4 is the number of creation. Yes? You got 4 seasons. Earth, wind, fire, water. 4 elements. 4 is the number of this creation. So in this that's why teach me to live and not die. Anyway, so I used to hesitate in sharing some of this really crazy stuff, but there's a freedom to just do it. I think you can handle it, and it's to get you hungry.